Hey everybody, I haven't been here for a while, but I thought I would kind of jump in and talk a little bit about how I've been using AI, which honestly, I haven't been using it as much as I thought I would be. But I'm going to talk today a little bit about how I use Gemini to make a worksheet for my jazz rock class. So quite often when kids break up into groups to learn rock songs, I kind of, let them learn the songs orally and use the internet. But of course, many of them find the chords. They're the wrong chords. People look up different versions. They're playing in different keys. They're not paying attention to the form. So I usually have a worksheet, but I'm like, you know what? Let me redo a worksheet. So I just asked, and the great thing about using Gemini as a little assistant is I could just do stream of consciousness of what I want into the worksheet. So I create a worksheet that would leave blank space to answer the following: name of song, key, original instrumentation, your group's instrumentation. Is there an intro? How many measures? Is there a verse? How many measures? Pre-chorus, etc. Are there any solos in the song? Who will play those solos? How will you use instruments that are not originally in song? Or how will you cover parts if you do not have enough instruments? So, and of course, it gave this back to me, which was kind of nice, but it seemed like each section, I wasn't sure how this was going to look. And each section, it looked like was separate. So then I asked, can you make it in one sheet? I also forgot to add what chord. I want them to write down what the chords are for the section. So I asked it to add that. I redid that. Then I asked it to put it into one Google worksheet instead of all these separate ones. So, and then I just exported it I actually just exported this last thing as share and export into Google Docs. And what it gave me was something that looked like this. Okay. So I actually printed this, but I'm also using it now in my, what do I call this again? It's on my screen, my smart screen. So I have this showed up. I dragged it in and I'm able now demo one of the group songs. I'm going to go through it today with them, one of the songs, and then they can fill out their sheet for their song. So I thought that it did a good job. I think it's pretty clear, how to add the measures and stuff. Is there an intro? Yes or no? How many measures it is? And again, so I will demo this with them on my smart board, chord analysis, space for chords for the sections, what they are. I might go back and tidy up a little bit of this, but I also I would make this a little bigger. Are there any solos in the song? Yes, who will play these songs? But I like this section, of course. And I asked them to do this, but how will you use the instruments that are originally in the song? It gave this example, which I thought was cool because I didn't give an example. Adding a saxophone part, using a synth pad. How will you cover keyboard covering strings, simplified bass? I thought these examples were good. Now I didn't give those examples, and I would have talked about that in the song that I was going to give as an example to fill out the sheet. So would I use Gemini for worksheets? Yes, I like the ease of just writing down what I want. It would take me a long time to set up these tables and stuff. I could do it, right? But it was kind of easier. So I give it the thumbs up for a worksheet, and being able to kind of stream of consciously kind of go through and ask it for certain criteria. All right, I hope you like this video. Let me know. Would you use it? Thanks.